Happiness is when your friends show up at your door and you get to spend some time with them. Here do I have Monica Sharma.
And it's a pleasure, of course, always awesome to see you.
So welcome back to this fresh new season of Amber Dazzle. Monica, tell me what's going on and what's up with you?
What's up? My gosh, a lot. Summer has started finally.
Finally.
I don't know where you are, but in Texas, we're loving it. It has finally arrived.
I know. And we had, a long winter.
Yes.
So we were wearing our fur coats, our boots, but now, Monica, aren't you enjoying just wearing those spring dresses?
I am, and I'm liking our color coordination today.
I know, and we didn't
It was
even...
by chance, it's like this in a smart minds think alike.
Exactly. So Monica, tell me, what's new with you? Like, what are your plans for summer, and where would you be traveling and doing what?
Yeah, so we are taking a vacation. We are going to Riviera Maya.
Oh,
so
lovely.
Yes, it's a family vacation that time. So that is there. Then of course we're just going to go domestic in US, few places. You should have big plans of travel.
Oh, no,
you always go out of town and out of country and amazing places.
Monica, it's so funny you say that, but yes, this year I do have an extensive plan. We are going to Europe
I knew that.
To Prague, Vienna, and Switzerland, taking the kids to visit a couple of more countries and enjoying some cuisines of the world. So that is one plan, and then I'm traveling a lot for my business, for my cosmetic brand.
That's right.
So
and which reminds me, the lipstick that I'm wearing and the makeup that eye makeup especially that I'm loving right now. Amber.
You're loving it?
Oh my God, so beautiful.
I'm so glad, and you look so absolutely gorgeous. Why don't you show? Why don't you blink your eyes and show I love you?
I hope you got that.
We are going on and on.
Yeah,
right?
but jokes aside, I think the line is just fabulous. I love your lipstick, and I'm looking at your eye palette for the first time, and it's just beautiful colors.
Thank you. I'm truly
You've done
flattered.
a great job.
It's just that like comments like these, it makes you want to do more.
Absolutely.
Right?
And you should.
And be more creative, more artist, and whatever your desire, your passion is, just follow your heart, right? Don't you agree?
I agree, and you are one person who've done that. Regardless of anything and everything, you have. You're one of those who are going, and you're going to keep going. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Monica.
And
you
people
too.
like us get to come in and
No. She herself is quite a rock star. But Monica, so coming towards our serious side, we were discussing. Remember last week on the phone, you were telling me about some of your friends going through certain kind of situations.
So yeah, Amber, I always, I feel in our daily life, day-to-day life, there's so many different types of relationships that we're carrying, whether it's our husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, our significant other, or our kids, friends, and, parents, name it. There's so many different types of relationships. Now, what I felt that I've been hearing a lot, I don't know if, where you stand with this, that people are saying, I am the one who's always giving in. It's always me. It's always me.
Interesting.
So what are your thoughts on that?
But, you're right. I guess it has a lot to do with, I think, both parties in a relationship. So it should not be one-sided, It should be a combined effort of both the couple involved. But you're right. Sometimes it's very hard, for both parties to understand this fact. But what is your thoughts on this? Like,
what I've been noticing is that the person who's saying, I'm putting all the effort and nothing is coming from the other side. I just feel like there are always two sides of the story, right? So we don't know what the other person is, and that was my advice and my suggestion to the person I was speaking with, that why don't you guys sit and talk? I think the communication is like the biggest key in any problem.
You nailed it. Communication is a big gap.
Yeah, so if you talk, you get to figure out where are the laps, like where are things going wrong, and why are you feeling the way you're feeling, and why is he or she doing what they're doing. So communication. But then again, that you've done that, and there are times when you're communicating with someone, they're like, nothing's wrong. I'm not doing anything different. Everything's the same. I don't know if you dealt with that, but there are people who just think nothing's wrong.
Yes, and it's very hard to make them understand that if one partner is saying something, is because they're experiencing and feeling that pain, and they're trying to convey that. And a lot of time, the other partner would shut them down and say, "Hey, I think everything is cool, and we don't even need, or we are overreacting," or the other partner need to understand that if you sit down, take the time out and just listen, and what the other person is saying, and please not hurt their feelings and not try to get in a defensive mode, things would actually work out better in communication. Don't you agree?
I agree, because anytime someone's complaining to you about a situation, because they're missing you, right? They want that attention. So so I think acknowledging the feelings, and communicating about them, and then finding a resolution if there is one. I mean, and it's not always that you were right or he was right or she was right. It's about just maybe there was something that was missing, and just bringing that back to the relationship.
Thank you, Monica. So that's a great thought, and we'll keep on working on a good, positive, long-lasting relationship.
Absolutely.
Tune us next week in our show, Cappuccino with Monica and Amber. Thank you.
See you then.
Hi viewers, welcome again to the new segment of Health and Wellness with Dr. Shabnam on Amber Dazzle Show. Today we decided to organize our segment into body organs to focus on the organs, how to treat and how to prevent, and what could be more important than our heart. Heart is one of the most important organ of the body, as you all know, and I think, in my opinion, God did not create heart just to function the body, but the heart was created for a purpose, and the purpose is to take care of others and share it with others. So I have invited my honorable guest, my favorite cardiologist, Dr. Stephen Model, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming and enlightening us with great knowledge about heart and vascular system that controls the entire heart. So one thing I want to talk about, Dr. Stephen Model, why don't you first introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a cardiologist with the Baylor Scott & White healthcare system. I've been in the Dallas area now for 7 years. I received most of my training in Chicago at Midwestern University, Northwestern University, and then migrated south for cardiology at the University of Arizona.
Okay.
My particular interest in cardiology are really in preventing heart disease. And a frustration of mine is we wait for someone to have an event and then we treat it. So my goal is, how do we identify the patients that are at risk, modify those risks so we can prevent the disease before it happens.
One thing I want to mention about Dr. Model, why is he my favorite cardiologist, is that he's not just one of those who will try to cut open the heart and the vessels and do the procedures, but he will take time to talk to his patients and promote health and wellness and educate them about the disease and prevent the heart disease. And that is one of the most important reasons he is on the show today. So let's talk about the heart disease. So what is a heart disease?
So there's two aspects I think they're important to identify with heart disease. And first, heart disease is a generic term we use. And really, I like to break it down into the heart pump and the valves. So we have valve problems, we have pump problems with heart failure, we have plumbing issues, that's the plaque buildup that leads to heart attack risk, and then we have wiring issues, which is electricity in the heart, and that leads to heart arrhythmias. And really, when people think of heart disease, what we worry about is a heart attack. And what's disappointing, over the last 20 years plus, heart disease remains the #1 cause of death in America. I think there's a big misconception that if you don't have high cholesterol, you don't have heart disease.
You're right.
And it's really important for viewers to understand that there's really 3 ingredients in heart disease. First is genetics. And it's important to understand your parents, your grandparents, your brothers and sisters. Identify patterns. Did they have a heart attack at the age 40 or 50, putting you at a premature risk? Did they have a heart attack at 90, which is probably just natural progression of life? Or is there no heart disease in the family? So that's important, and unfortunately genetics is not modifiable.
Absolutely.
The second thing is cholesterol. So just like baking a cake, you need flour, eggs, and water. For heart disease, you have to have a genetic history. So you have to have arteries that are sensitive to disease, arteries like going out in the sun, or skin that goes out in the sun and gets burned. Some of us get sunburnt, some of us don't. Cholesterol is important. That's a big building block in heart disease. And the second, which I think we neglect too often, is inflammation. So those three aspects really compose the big ingredients in heart disease. So it's genetics, cholesterol, and inflammation that we need to focus on.
You have put all three important evils that cause heart disease in a nutshell. That's amazing. So who are the individuals who are at a risk for heart disease?
So again, unfortunately, we're not very good at predicting who has heart disease. And that's why I think it's a challenge in early identification and why it remains the leading cause of death. There's a great tool that I love called CT calcium scoring. It's been around for a while, grossly underutilized. Less than 5% of the population in the US has had a calcium score. And what a CT calcium score is, it's a study that's recommended for individuals over the age of 40. So they're past their maturation. So it is a radiation study. We want to minimize radiation risk. So we wait till the age of 40. And it's those with risk factors. And really, in my mind, we all have risk factors. Life is a risk factor. The CT's calcium score is great because it looks for early plaque in the heart. So we're not looking for the patient that's having active chest pain that thinks they're having a heart attack. We're trying to find the asymptomatic individual to better risk stratify them, to ask the question, do you benefit from medical therapy? Do you benefit from more aggressive diet and exercise? And if not, or if you do, we can modify their future. Calcium scores are great. They're offered by a lot of institutions. Baylor is one of the leaders in calcium scoring in the area. And something that I'm surprised is year after year, 60% of all scans that we do are positive for disease. So we identify 6 out of 10 people walking the streets that have no idea they have heart disease and end up having a positive test.
So, of course, the treatment of the heart disease, if anybody has been diagnosed with heart disease or no heart disease, they should contact Dr. Motl for the treatment and to sit down and have a consultation. But somebody who does not have heart disease, or even somebody who has heart disease, for the individuals who are listening to our show, people who do not have heart disease or have heart disease, they all need to be on a diet that is good for the heart. So what kind of a diet you recommend for the heart disease?
So that's a great question, and that's a very popular trend. And unfortunately, I find that diets are really fads. And unfortunately, people look to their neighbor, their friends, social media to get recommendations. Really, the first thing you need to do is talk to your doctor, talk to a nutritionist, and identify your goals. If you have high blood pressure, a low salt diet is great. If you have heart disease, I'm a big advocate of the low inflammation diet. And what's interesting, when you look at life expectancy by country, most of the countries that live along the Mediterranean coast outlive us in America by 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So the main diet I really promote is the Mediterranean diet, the low inflammation diet, to help minimize that big ingredient in heart disease.
And when we talk about diet, of course, the next important question is what kind of exercise and how much exercise do you recommend for somebody to prevent the heart disease? And if they have heart disease, then how to not get it worse?
So another interesting aspect is we always thought the more exercise you do, the better you are. There was a great study just published actually by the cardiologist at Baylor Dallas looking at marathon runners. And they found that those who have done 0 marathons are at a certain level of risk. Those who have done 2 to 5 marathons have the least risk. And those who do more than 5 marathons actually increase their risk, similar to those who have never exercised. So there is a risk for doing too little and too much. So currently the American Heart Association recommends at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week. I recommend 30 minutes to 2 hours. So staying in that window, aerobic exercise to me is anything that breaks a sweat. So you want to engage that aerobic metabolism, separate leisure activities, an activity that you're not sweating versus true aerobic exercise where you're breaking a sweat.
Great. So 30 minutes to 2 hours a day, Mediterranean diet, and take care of yourself. Thank you so much, Dr. Motl, for coming and enlightening our viewers with the great information. It's very, very valuable and very, very helpful. I'm sure if we utilize that and implement that in our everyday life, then we can actually prevent the heart disease, or somebody who has the heart disease can actually prevent it from getting any worse. So this is it for today. And before we go, since the topic is about heart, I have a little verse, a little part of the poetry from Urdu, and I'm going to translate it in English today. Dard dil ke waaste paida kiya insaan ko, dard dil ke waaste paida kiya insaan ko, varna taat ke liye kuch kam na the karrobiyan. And the English translation is, God did not create men for just worshiping, because he has millions of angels worshiping for him. He created man to take care of others and share his heart. That's it for today. We'll meet next week with another honorable guest and an interesting topic and a lot of valuable information. Thank you.
This is Poonam, and I have with me Krupa again, and we're on the Amber Dazzle Show.
Hi, this is Krupa again.
Welcome to this brand new episode, and today we are talking about this topic, women empowerment in the 21st century, and how to balance your career and your life effectively and manage your pressures. So I have with me a perfect example of a homemaker and a working woman, and that's sitting right next to me. She's a blood banker by profession, and she's an amazing mom of twins and another boy, so 3 kids, and she manages all of this all by herself, and she does a wonderful job in doing that. So I'm going to take some tips from her on how she juggles all these hats all at once and keeps the balance going.
So I would say I have a huge support system from family.
Okay.
So my husband is very supportive of what I do. I have parents are living with me, so that's a big help. But yes, nowadays women in 21st century, we have learned, I think we have evolved to wear multiple hats. We know how to manage careers, we know how to manage household. We try our best to juggle between kids, career, household, but it's very important for your day-to-day life. And how does that come in my life? It's by effective time management. Time is forever, energy is not. So I make sure that I have good energy. I conserve my energy to do my things in day-to-day life.
That's a wonderful point that she has touched upon, because back in the day, women had very definitive roles. The men used to go out and be the breadwinners, and the women were only homemakers. But with the times, everything has evolved. Roles are changing, and women are wearing multiple hats. They're being educated. They're going out there, and shouldering all these responsibilities and giving men a very neck-to-neck competition.
Joining
workforces and in very, very challenging and demanding roles, and then they come back home and they have equally more challenging stuff that awaits them. They have kids, they have husbands, big families to take care of. They have to be socially relevant and present. So all of this requires a very effective time management. If you have a structured schedule where every day has its own delegated tasks and roles, I think you can take on the world much easier. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how your days are structured and what roles do you have on each day?
Right. So what I do is, Sunday is my meal prep day. I prep my meals for the rest of my week, so I know what's going to be fed to myself and my family. I want to make sure I have healthy meals ready on the go for me, if I'm running around with kids for their activities, or for my husband. Secondly, I do with my time management is when I make these lists, I make sure I make it first thing in the morning. I do not make it when my energy levels are down, because if I'm low on energy, I'm not going to think properly. So I make sure first thing in the morning when my brain is nice, working fresh, I can make my list of chores to do.
So that's interesting that you say that, Krupa, because I love to make lists. My life perpetually runs on lists. I make lists for everything, lists for groceries, lists for things to do, lists for miscellaneous tasks, and I try to order them and prioritize them in a way where I'm tackling few tasks at a time, or if I'm running errands around the town, I'm trying to prioritize to make them time efficient. So I think that is a very big tip that our viewers can use, is incorporate lists in your life, keep your chores organized, prioritize your time, and they will help you effectively manage your time.
Right,
What
because
are
an
some of the other things
organized household is an organized workplace. If you have, these are habits, you instill your habits in your family, you instill your habits in yourself. If you have an organized life, it reflects your work.
Absolutely. And we are the role models for our kids. I think kids learn way more by idolizing their mothers than their fathers, because for the most part, they spend a lot of time around us. So whatever it is that we do, these little healthy habits, we're actually passing on that legacy to our kids as well. So time management, lists, having lists. Along with that, I feel, all work and no play makes Jane a very dull woman. So how about having a little bit of fun with your life? So we all have such demanding, hectic work schedules, So I think it's equally important for women to take some time out to de-stress themselves, unwind themselves.
Socialize, meet up your girlfriends, go for a movie, go for trips, girl trips. Those are de-stress.
Absolutely,
stress
busters. Go have a GNO, girls' night out with your girlfriends, or just catch up for a simple cup of coffee or a drink with that other friend.
Exactly.
And it's amazing what kind of wonders just hanging out with your girlfriends can do for you. It's a feel-good syndrome when you're with your girlfriends, because then you can share about what you're going through, get some validations. When women talk to other women, they can lift them, they can empower them in ways better to none.
You can boost up your energy levels. And I think people who do not do that, you can put them aside.
Absolutely. Anybody who's dulling your shine, you don't need those kind of people.
You do not need those people.
Because at the end of the day, it's all about the energy. If you have a good energy around you, it's going to help you get through the day.
Create a positive halo around you is what I feel. And that makes your life easier.
And I think I would like to add a very relevant point to this is, take time to look after yourself. Take time to look pretty. Take time to dress up. Take time to accessorize. Take time to feel good about yourself. Because a lot of women are in depression and they don't even know that. They are so stressed. They feel like they have no help and they have no support, and they don't know how they could make this better. And it's funny how these small things can make you actually feel good about yourself. So, just go buy a nice piece of outfit, or you could come to me and get some of my designer jewelry. And feel good about yourself.
I agree. And there's a lot of banter going on about women empowerment.
Yes.
But I don't think women needs empowerment. I think we are self-sufficient. We can take care of ourselves. Push come to shove. If a child is being taken away from a mother, she will show you all her sides. So I'm saying that, women empowerment, there's a lot of banter going around, but I don't think women need that. I think we are self-sufficient and we can take good care of ourselves.
We just need to realize the power that lies within us. So I think we are already an empowered species. We just have to channel our energies in the right direction. I do also want to bring your attention to some of the gorgeous pieces that I have just recently designed, and Krupa is wearing one of those. I decided to go black and white, a little retro with this look, and this is a very, very versatile piece because it's made with white pearls and black obsidian stone. Obsidian is basically a sucker of negative energy. So if you're feeling pressure, if you're feeling a dip in your energy, this is a great stone to wear on because it will kill all the negative energy, and it'll uplift your moods. It will help you feel good about yourself. And a black and white piece is such a universal color. It can go literally on any outfit.
And I absolutely absolutely love it.
Absolutely. And then
I
I'm
love
wearing...
the shape of this too, the way it's going.
Yes, yes. It's like a chakra. It's a full circle, just like how life comes a full circle, right?
I agree.
And then I'm also wearing a very fantastic piece. It's actually a hand-painted stone. And then we developed this stringing based on the colors. It's basically based on an ancient folklore from India. And the pendant is a huge statement pendant with some really pretty hand-painted colors. And this could basically be a
Lord
conversation
Krishna
starter.
here, right?
Yes.
Lord Krishna and Radha, I think.
Yes. So this is
wow.
based on an ancient folklore from India. And this is definitely a conversation starter when you enter a party wearing something as scintillating as this. So guys, you know, don't let the pressure bog you down. You're beautiful, you're confident, and keep your shine on. Keep wearing beautiful clothes, keep styling with beautiful jewelry. And if you want some of my pieces, you know where to find me. It's Poonam from Turquoise Touch by Poonam, and my website is www.facebook.com/turquoise touch. It's a turquoise with a Z.
This is Krupa signing off.
And with this, we're going to wrap up this segment of the Amber Dazzle Show. It was lovely talking to you guys, and we'll see you very soon. Take care. Ciao.
Hey everyone, this is Shali with Kismet Creations. I'm very excited here to be on the set of Amber Dazzle again. And here we have very new products today that I want to show and showcase today, which is Fashion Runway. And we have our gorgeous model here today.
Hi everyone, I'm Allison Drake. I'm so excited to be here.
And today what we're going to show is everyday makeup look. So something that you can wear on a daily basis. So this eyeshadow palette is so versatile. Absolutely love all the colors in it. I think for a makeup artist or just anyone for personal use, it just has all the colors that you need in it. So we're gonna start with everyday look. So the first color that I'm gonna go ahead and pick up is gonna be French Riviera, which is this one right here. And I'm gonna kind of use that as the base color for the lid. And if you would just look down, and then we just kind of pat that in. And they're very highly pigmented, so the colors are so gorgeous. And we just kind of pat that in and just kind of blend it out with a blending brush. So the key here is that you really want to make sure you're blending the eyeshadow. So you just kind of use that, blend it a little bit above the eyebrow, the brow bone, and then I'll go ahead and go in with Chicago, which is a very pretty highlight. And what I like to do with this color is just kind of tap some product in and just really show off the brow bone right there. So we just kind of highlight that area. And what that does is it really arches the brows and it really creates a very depth look. And finally, what I like to go in with the everyday look is you can kind of make it a little bit more dramatic, and what we can do is add Dallas, which is this brown color, and we'll just go on the cut crease there and just kind of do like an L shape there and then just buff that in. There we go. And then I would go ahead and go in with Milan and just kind of soften up the inner corners right about there. Tap a little bit more. And just kind of blend. So the key to good eyeshadow is just blending everything out. So here we have the perfect everyday makeup within a minute or two. Okay, so here we have the perfect everyday look. So Ali, why don't you take a look and see what you think about it?
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love how the brow has a little bit of highlight. I think it adds such a big pop to it.
And it's such an easy look, right? Like it took me within like a minute or two to create. We used 3 colors and just kind of transitioned them, and I mean, I think it looks absolutely flawless for every day.
Yeah, the gold really pops on it too.
Okay, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this very quick tutorial. And if you guys want to see more of my work, follow me on Instagram at Kismet Creations by Shali.
And you can also follow me at Ali, ALLIEJ Drake on Instagram to see some of my photos and to even see this look.
And definitely subscribe to YouTube at Amber Dazzle, don't forget, and we'll be back on the set next time. Thank you.
The preceding was paid program paid by Amber Dazzle. Promotional consideration is paid by following advertisers.